So, my car insurance renewal is due around my birthday, which is really annoying. My renewal quote this year for the Cooper was around £1,000, and I thought that's not quite cutting it. So I decided to take a little look around at some specialist modified insurers. Normally when it comes to insurance, I just go through Compare the Market or one of the comparison sites, Go Compare, that kind of thing, and have a little look at some of the insurers that are around. But when it comes to modifying your car, a lot of companies really don't like it. I've had quotes in the past where you've added something as simple as a splitter and it's added hundreds and hundreds to the policy. So today I'm going to be looking at some insurance brokers that specialise in modified cars, imported cars, that kind of thing. Just stuff that's kind of a little bit outside of the norm. And it is worth mentioning that a lot of these insurers will only take you on if you're over 21 and if you've had a little bit of driving experience. So if you're looking for tips on how to get cheaper car insurance and you're a little bit younger, then check out my tips and tricks on how to get cheaper car insurance for young drivers in the UK. I've got several videos on my channel around that. So what's great about a lot of these modified brokers is they really take into consideration your individual circumstances, and a lot of the brokers actually partner you with companies that allow cosmetic modifications at no extra charge. So today I'm going to walk you through how I managed to get a better insurance policy for around £400 cheaper than my renewal this year. And as always with insurance stuff, it's worth mentioning that literally every single one of your individual circumstances will change the outcome and the price. Your area, your age, your previous driving history, the car that you're driving, the level of modification of the car that you're driving. There are so many factors, so nobody can give you an accurate estimation unless you actually get quotes yourself. So you can see across the top of the screen the different tabs. You can get a bit of an idea about the companies that we're going to go through. I'm just going to run you through some of the most popular names in the modified car industry. And this definitely is not a comprehensive list. There are plenty more out there. So it's best to phone up to get the best deal and to find something that caters exactly to your needs. Usually the advisors at the end of the phone are really knowledgeable and they'll know exactly what you're talking about when it comes to modifications, or if you need other types of insurance as well. They're very knowledgeable in the field and they'll be able to partner you with an appropriate company. Being brokers, you're not usually directly insured with these companies, but they find you an appropriate insurer and they will partner you with them and go through all the terms and conditions of the plan. So, for example, A Plan, this is the one that I've used most recently. We're going to go through some of the main insurers, or brokers, should I say, that are sort of well known in the modified car industry, and a lot of these do other stuff as well. So you can see here, for example, A Plan do classic and vintage insurance, high performance, modified, high value, kit car, 4x4, modified van, import, as well as stuff like life insurance, marine insurance, travel, and so on. So a lot of these brokers deal with a lot of areas in the insurance field, so you can get discounts for buying multiple products through them as well. So that's quite good to bear in mind. So A Plan is a good one. Again, they do modified vehicle insurance, very knowledgeable people on the phone. They kind of talk you through different discounts. You can get track day cover and things like that. You also usually benefit from brokers like this from mentioning that you're part of a car club or an owners club. They normally provide discounts for those, and that goes for most of these brokers. And often the brokers also don't charge for visual modifications, so that is a massive plus. The majority of specialist brokers I've spoken to do not charge for any cosmetic mods, only mods that add power. So you can phone them up and you can literally say, you know, I'm lowering my car on coilovers and putting a spoiler on it and a body kit, and they'll just say, yeah, cool, okay, and they won't charge for that. So of course it depends on your individual circumstances, but A Plan were able to find the best policy for me, and also they were really, really good over the phone, very knowledgeable. I spoke to a lady who was quite good with her modification. She knew exactly what she was talking about, and she sort of put me onto the right people to get me the best deal. So highly recommended just through personal use. But again, this isn't a sponsor video, and we're going to go through all different options. So the next one is Brentaker. This is another very, very popular one. Specialist car insurance. You can get a quote, you can email them, but it's best to phone up again. Again, they cover a whole host of different types of vehicle, all sorts of specialists and things like that. They're often at car shows as well. I've seen Brentaker stands before, and they do have extensive knowledge in the field as well. The guys in the office are usually quite good at talking through exactly what they can do. They also had a very similar level of cover to the one that A Plan provided me with, so definitely worth a shout. Also Sterling. Sterling is a company that I've seen online quite a bit. I've not dealt with them personally, but I've heard good things. Again, very similar modified vehicle cover. They do, again, free cover for cosmetic mods up to £1,500. Includes European cover up to a certain amount of days. So there's kind of like different benefits for each of these. and they normally provide you with the best insurance cover and provider for your needs. So again, this is another one that's good to check out. Greenlight also is quite a good one. I know a lot of people who use Greenlight and have good things to say about it. There's a few YouTubers that use Greenlight, and you can sometimes get discount for mentioning those. They also do sort of modified van, modified 4x4, all that kind of thing. One thing to bear in mind is some of these brokers have specific requirements. So for example, with Greenlight, they don't actually insure BMWs, which is interesting, I suppose, because they're, more expensive, more often claimed upon. So you have to be 21 or over for this particular one. I think that applies to some of these as well. So just be sure when you're reading through what the kind of minimum requirements are. You have to have at least 1 year's no claims bonus and have a minimum of 3 years driving experience. So there's kind of requirements about the value of the car, and also it says not a BMW as well. So yeah, some of them are kind of more specific than others in terms of requirements. So that there's not the specific guidance set out on A plan, for example, but because of these requirements, sometimes they can provide a better price if you fulfill this criteria. So when you go on these websites, just kind of check to see what the terms and conditions of cover are, because some people just don't touch you if you've not had a few years driving experience or if you're under a certain age. So Adrian Flux is another is another company that is kind of comes up a lot. There's a lot of influencers that use Adrian Flux, a lot of YouTubers and things like that, and modified car insurance. They also do kind of like some more multi-car policy type things, convicted drivers, disabled driver insurance, and of course they do all the other stuff like kit car, classic car, all that jazz. Personally, I've never had a good price from Adrian Flux, and I've also known someone who has had a really bad claim experience through Adrian Flux. So personally, I've not had much great experience with them, but I have heard online a lot of people who have had, amazing experience with Adrian Flux, insuring multiple cars over the years, multiple modified cars, and, quite cheap add-ons, such as the ones that you see over here as well. Again, personally, I've never really had much experience with them. It's definitely worth checking them out because they're such a huge name in this industry. But yeah, personally, never had a good price from them myself. Also, Pacewad Insurance. So again, a broker that is a specialist. They do all sorts of different things. They also do like business insurance and home insurance and stuff like that. But car insurance, they do all sorts of specialist insurance, including some specialist specific model insurance. So TVR, Nissan GTR and Mitsubishi Evo, things like that. So they can provide certain discounts for those specific vehicles and track days and things like that. Again, I've had good prices from these guys. They're very knowledgeable. Lots of people recommend them on the Cupra Owners Club as well. So definitely worth checking out. Another one is Sky Insurance. So Sky Insurance looks a bit of an old-fashioned website. They've got quite good reviews online, and a lot of people swear by them. They've been sort of insuring with them for years and years. I've not had much to do with Sky Insurance, but again, I've heard great things online. They do sort of introductory discounts, club car members, again, very popular discounts among these brokers. Second car discount, which some brokers do, some don't. So, for example, Brent Aker was saying that they couldn't really do a multi-car policy and they don't often offer discounts for multiple cars, whereas A-Plan were telling me that, yes, we normally offer a discount for multiple cars. So, yeah, again, it depends on what your needs are. And there's an FAQ on here, so it kind of shows sort of what you need. So again, minimum of 19 years old with 1 year's no claims, and you've been driving for 2 years. So those are the minimum requirements of the Sky Insurance policy. And also that's for third party fire and theft. And then for comp cover, it shows you over 21. And it also shows you kind of what changes the parameters of your cover as well. So it's interesting to see a bit of openness from this company to kind of give you a bit more of an insight into why the prices vary so much. And also it kind of shows you some of the vehicles that are insured with them as well, which I find really interesting. So because they're specialists, they kind of insure modified and performance cars. So this is from a few years ago, Customer Car of the Year. So there's loads of vehicles here. You can see like people's cars that they modify and insure through Sky. Again, I've heard great things. I've not had any quotes from them myself, but judging from the kind of the level of modification on the cars that you're seeing here, they're probably quite good to get a quote from if you're into serious modification. And another one that comes up quite a bit is Keith Michaels. Also Graham Sykes, that comes up a bit, those sort of ones. Again, you can get quotes online. Usually phoning up is the best way to go. We prefer to speak to you about your individual circumstances. Online request forms on all of these brokers aren't fantastic. They do take a while to get back to you, and they still usually recommend a follow-up phone call. And they're quite easy to get through to be honest. Not like the bigger companies, the bigger kind of main insurance companies, you have to be on hold for ages. With all of these brokers, I managed to get through quite quickly. So it is quite nice to be able to deal with that sort of thing. You know, being able to get through quite easily and talk to someone is ideal. So yeah, that kind of sums it up there. So these are some of the kind of ones that I've had dealings with and seen online as a highly recommended option. So you've got Keith Michaels, again, you've got Sky Insurance, you've also got Pace Ward, you've got Adrian Flux, Greenlight, Sterling Insurance, Brent Acre, and A-Plan. So I highly recommend checking all of these out and just phoning around. I know it takes a bit of time, but honestly, phoning these guys up are the best option just to be able to get something that's tailored to exactly what you need. You know, if you've got several modified cars, if you've got a modified camper van or a van, a kit car, or something that's sitting rotting away on the driveway that you want insured from theft, all of these brokers will have something to suit you. I spent so much time sifting through comparison sites over the years, especially kind of in my younger years of driving. I'm 25 now, so, you know, a few years ago, it was impossible to get insured on modified cars. And yeah, these brokers really take it seriously, and you can get some really good prices. So just to give you an idea, the insurance cost this year with all mods declared, I could probably actually insure another car as well for less than my normal quotes are from your normal comparison sites like Compare the Market and stuff like that with my usual kind of brokers. So yeah, it goes to show that like shopping around does really get you somewhere. Don't just rely on the comparison sites, especially if you're after specialist or modified car insurance. There's so many brokers out there that will be able to tailor a policy that's exactly right for you and your needs and kind of adapt it as and when. The excess I was getting on my kind of Compare the Market prices was sort of around £1,000 excess, whereas I was quoted around £350 excess for a specialist. So it takes a little bit of shopping around, it takes a few phone calls, but I highly recommend checking out some of these brokers. Again, this is not a sponsor video, I'm not getting any commission, I'm just trying to, you know, help people out, because at the end of the day, this is something that you don't get taught. It's something that you don't really know until you put the research in. So hopefully this has been helpful for you guys. If you have any luck with any of these brokers, I'd love to hear in the comments below if you've saved any money. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.